All right, so I'm gonna go through the settings setup real quick. Once you get in here, it doesn't really matter what game mode here you select to get into settings. The settings is up on the right hand side. So on a PC, I don't know how you get the settings to pull up. On my PlayStation, I push like the options button. I'm sure you'll figure it out. But you go into your settings, scroll over to settings right here. So the quick settings are going to be your favorites. You could set certain ones of your favorites. I'll walk you through that in a moment. We're going to go down the list. We're going to start a controller. There's a lot of different ways you can set this stuff up. So obviously your aiming input is not going to be controller. It's going to be mouse and keyboard. So you're going to have a lot of different settings that I don't have, like your stick sensitivity. I don't know how that works on mouse and keyboard. I've got mine at 2.20, which is actually pretty high. Most people go a lot lower than this. I've been playing first-person shooters for so long. I need it high because I need to I'm just used to it. So this is really just at your discretion. Whatever the default is, maybe leave it there, test it out, see how it feels, and then go from there. Button layout, I'm on a controller, so again, mouse and keyboard, that's going to be probably stick with the default to start and see how it goes. So keep moving. I leave all this stuff off. Vibration doesn't matter. Trigger effect doesn't matter. Dead zone inputs don't matter because that's all controller. I shouldn't even have gone through controller because the whole thing at the top says controller. All right, aiming. So the sensitivity multiplier, the only one that I have at 0.8 is going to be ADS multiplier focus. Don't worry about too much about what that is. It's not going to affect much. Just set these up the way how I have this. We'll close that back out. This stays. Aiming advanced settings. So we'll go in here, ADS sensitivity transition timing. I have mine set to instant. This just means when you're not aiming down sight, that's what ADS stands for, aim down sight. When you're not aiming down sight, you can pan right and left faster, right? And then as soon as you aim down sight, it slows down. So the question is, when you start to aim down sight down your gun, do you want the transition timing to be immediate, gradual, or after zoom? I just do instant. I don't think this matters much. That's just my opinion. This one, I don't think you're going to have aim response curve type because you're on mouse and keyboard, but if it's available, everyone uses dynamic. All the pros use dynamic. That's what they recommend. So just use dynamic. That's what I use. All right, this is another one. Custom sensitivity per zoom. I turn this on. A lot of people leave it off, but I turn it on. And then we'll go to show more. For low zoom, if you have you have to play with this. So basically, your regular sensitivity for aiming, right, like panning right and left, this is a percentage of 100%. So the 0.6 means it's like 60% of my normal sensitivity when I'm aiming down sight with a low zoom weapon. So like an SMG that has low zoom. I use 0.6 because I have a very high sensitivity where I can whip around real fast if someone's behind me, but I need this to be lower so I can control my aim when I'm aiming down sight. Now, if it's a 2x or 3x zoom, which means I have like an assault rifle that has like a scope on it that has a 2x or a 3x zoom, I don't want it to be 0.6 because it moves way too slow for the distance because it's more of a long range weapon. So I go to 0.8. I'm still playing with it. This used to be at like 0.6 and it was driving me crazy. It was too slow, so I sped it up. And then for anything higher, I just leave it 1.0. And then you can favorite these. See how they're starred, the white star? You can turn this on and off, so you can put it to your favorites. That way you can play with it. And then if you get into using a sniper gun, 1.0 should just be fine. That's just regular. So that way, whether you're aiming down sight or not, it's the same. Moving back and forth is the same. All right, so that's that. That's all you're aiming. Go to movement. All right, this is kind of important. So for movement, for sprint assist, you want it on tactical sprint assist. What this means is as soon as you start running forward, it goes into a full tac sprint. There's regular sprinting, which is like running, and then there's tactical sprinting. Tactical sprint is a little faster, and then you want to have it on tac sprint assist. That just means it goes immediately into attack sprint. It makes you a lot faster, so there's no delay. So like if you're shooting somewhere and then somebody starts shooting you from like around the corner, if you want to stop shooting and move out of the way, you want to go right to tac sprint. So if you have it on set to automatic tac sprint, It just helps you to escape a lot. It just gives you that one extra step. It does make a difference. I have mantle assist turned off because mantle assist actually drives me crazy. It makes you jump over things that you don't want to jump over. So I leave this off, and then I actually hit the jump button when I get up to something. It just gives me more control. Crouch assist, I turn on. I honestly don't know what this does because it's a new setting and I've just always left it on, but it's never really bothered me. So it's just left on. Apparently, it activates when you're walking or sprinting towards a valid opening. I don't know. I've never noticed it. Corner slice, this is annoying. I leave it off. Basically, when you go up to like the side of a wall, it like angles your gun, like it makes it crooked. It messes my OCD up. It's a new feature. I just wasn't used to it, so I turned it off. This is literally your opinion. You can do whatever you want. Turn it on, turn it off, doesn't matter. I think default it's on. This one, I'm pretty passionate that you go with slide only. Slide only is the way to go here. Um, the dive called dolphin diving in the game, diving is like a total waste of time. It doesn't it it, it'll cause you to die more often. My recommendation is just go with slide only. You could do hybrid. Um, the only thing with hybrid is it'll still dolphin dive sometimes, and it kind of delays your slide, so it throws off the timing of sliding. It's hard to explain, but just trust me. Slide only is probably the way to go. I'm not a big fan of the dolphin dive in the game. You'll see people diving because what happens is they dive and they land on the ground and they don't move, and then you're just stuck there on the ground. So like if you're not like movement is really important in this game. You have to be able to keep moving to be a harder target. All right, this stays on. Sprint, this has to stay on. Sprint restore, very important, stay on. Slide maintain sprint, stay on. Parachute automatic behavior, I turn this off so I have full control of when I pull my chute when I'm landing on somebody from the sky. If you leave this on, they pull the chute too early, and then you're like hanging up in the air too long, and it allows people to kill you easier. However, if you have this off, you can break your legs a lot easier and die from not pulling your chute if you like wait too long. So that's up to you, really. Mantle cancels reload. I have that off. That will drive you crazy. Um, you don't want to reload. You don't want your reloads to get canceled because it's kind of critical. So let's go to movement advanced settings. Sprint tactical, sprint behavior is on toggle. Auto move forward is off. Auto door peek, I leave that on. It doesn't really affect your gameplay, but I have it on. Tactical sprint activation is double tap. You know what? This doesn't matter because I have auto sprint turned on anyway, but single tap to tactical sprint while sprinting, single tap to tac. Yeah, do a single tap run. That's actually what it should be set to. Plunging underwater, just leave it as free. Sprinting door bash on. That's very important too. Now we'll go back, go down to vehicle behaviors. These, I don't think these matter. Vehicle control mode, driver control, aim base control, short delay, free look, lean out activation. I use melee finishing, but whatever. The melee is how I lean out of cars. That's what I usually recommend instead of ADS. And then going over to combat at the top there, aim down sight behavior is on hold, tactical stance on toggle. Tactical stance activation is ADS plus melee. Same with weapon mount activation, ADS plus melee. Same, hold melee. Body shield finishing move. So when you down somebody, you can pick them up and hold them as a body shield if someone's shooting at you. I do prioritize finishing move, but it's completely up to you. So you really just leave it like that. Armor plate behavior. This is going to be your choice. I do apply one. Some people like apply all. So you can carry 3 armor plates on your body, right? So if you get shot and all 3 armor plates are gone and you're running away from somebody and you start plating up, the button that you hold to apply armor plates, some people don't like to have to hold the button the entire time because as soon as you let go of the button, he stops applying. And if you want him to just apply all you do is press and hold the button for like a second. Once your character starts applying armor plates, he will apply all 3 of them, no matter what you do, right? The problem with this is if someone's pushing you and you run around the corner and you apply one armor plate, you might think in your head, like, I'm going to turn around and re-challenge this person right now with just one plate on and take my shot, right? But if you've got apply all selected, what ends up happening is you're sitting there applying plates and it's you can't stop it from happening. So then if they push around the corner while you're putting your second or third plate in it, you can't shoot them, and then they kill you anyway. So it's like, so I don't like that. I use apply one. If you do use apply all, you can cancel it by just hitting the swap button, whatever the swap weapon button. So whatever button you use to swap guns is how you cancel it. But it's just a pain in the butt, man. It's like I just apply one and I just hold the button the whole time. But that's up to you. You can toggle this back and forth, set it as a favorite, star it, and then you can go back and forth and figure out what you like. C4 detonation, I don't even use C4, so this doesn't matter, but I do a one by one. Equipment behavior, definitely hold. Manual fire behavior is press versus hold. You want it to be press. Combat advanced settings. Okay, so change zoom activation. Leave this as sprint tactical, sprint focus. Weapon mount exit short delay. Interact reload behavior. Prioritize reload. This is another important one. Set this up to prioritize reload. Just trust me, it's the best way. What this does is when there's like a bunch of stuff on the ground and you just shot somebody, to tap the reload button is the same button you use to pick things up off the ground. So if you're sitting there and you got an empty magazine, if you tap the reload button, what'll happen is you'll pick stuff up off the ground instead of reload your weapon. Like you might swap your weapon for some piece of crap weapon on the ground, which is bad, right? So you want it to prioritize the reload. So when you tap the button, it reloads first. Then if you tap the button again, it'll pick up whatever you're standing up on over the ground. So that's the way you want to do it. Sprint cancels reload. You want that off. Very important. This has to be off. It'll totally screw you up. This allows you to basically sprint while reloading, if that makes sense. Akimbo behavior independent. I don't use akimbo. That's like two guns at once in two hands. ADS took stop. Leave that off. Depleted ammo switch. Leave that off. Let's see. What are these? Inventory control is directional buttons. I don't know if you'll have that because you're on mouse and keyboard. Double tap danger, ping delay, moderate. I don't know. Set the length of time between two presses to change the ping to danger ping. Don't worry about that. Leave that as is. Wheel behavior, hold. Okay. That's everything. Okay, I'm going to cut this because the controller settings is the most important. So that's a long video. Actually, let me just look really quick. Obviously, your refresh rate probably be higher than 120 because you're on PC. Turn off world motion blur. Turn off weapon blur. It's just unnecessary blurriness. You don't want blurriness in your screen. You want everything to be crisp for performance. Depth of view, I turned off. It gives you more visibility around you when you're aiming. It also gives, it makes it look like less recoil on your screen. Leave this on. I set this to 50. The higher you set this, the more like power it takes to, I guess, provide clear images. I don't know. I leave this on optimized. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's go back and then we go to view. Motion reduction preset, I leave that off. Field of view, this is up to you. I go at 117. Most people use 120. For a while, I started getting motion sick using 120 or dizzy. So I lowered it to like 110 and then I worked my way up. Now I'm at 117. I feel comfortable at 117. If you go down like this, it just zooms everything in, right? If you go up to like up higher, it zooms everything out, gives you more of a fisheye look so you could see your peripheral vision a little bit easier. ADS field of view is affected. Weapon field of view is wide. I honestly don't see a difference between any of these. I've seen a lot of videos. Everyone says use wide, whatever. The weapon looks smaller. I don't know. I don't notice a difference. Continuing here, this stuff I don't care about. All this stuff I'm not worried about, so that's no big deal. And then going to audio, a lot of this stuff I use Treyarch Mix for the audio options. And let's see, there's something else in here. This is just your preference. Hit markers. I like the hit marker preset. classic. It's just the sound effects. If you turn it off, you can't hear when you're hitting somebody. So if you're shooting far away, you want to be able to know you're hitting a human, right? Or a character. So definitely have it either one or the other. It doesn't really matter which one. Where is configure? No, that's not it. Voice chat. Favorite the prox chat for sure. Voice chat volume, you could favor that too, so you could turn it on and up and down. This is your own voice, I think. I don't think it really matters. You could just kind of set it whatever you think. Body shield chat. Oh yeah, we got to turn that on. You want that on. So if you pick somebody up, you can talk to them. That's so funny to me. I had it off. I didn't realize it. So now it's on. All right. You could test your microphone. A lot of people have their mic really loud. And test your microphone and go in here and listen and see how loud it is. I leave mine as 2. That's all I need. My mic is super sensitive. There was one more thing for audio. You want to turn off. There's a place where you can turn off like music and stuff. You don't want any of that stuff. You don't need music. The music is like horrible. All right, here. Show more. There it is. Gameplay music volume 0. Dialogue volume 60. Effects volume 100. That's like gunfire, footsteps. You want to hear that stuff, right? Cinematic music 0. I turn those music things off because all they do is get in the way of you hearing when enemies are sneaking up behind you. And when you're playing online, you don't need to hear music. You need to hear bad guys, right? Interface is going to be pretty straightforward. I think I just leave everything. Don't skip the kill cam, because if you think someone's cheating and you want to report them, that's how you do it. Plus, it's always nice to see where somebody got you from. I turn these on. Server latency, packet loss, clock. That way during the game, you can see if you have packet loss, then you can back out of the game. If you have even 1% packet loss, get out because you're lagging bad on that server. So I like to turn these on. Readability, I let everything's on that. Oh, one thing, color customization. So the default for the enemy is red, but I use purple just because I don't know what it is, bro. Like my eyes, like with red, it for some reason I have a hard time seeing it. So the purple is just easier for me to see. Oh, and then I do color filter too. These are squad colors. You can set them to whatever you want. Leave them as default. Game HUD. Oh, here's another important one. Minimap shape, square, safe area. I use mine really small. And what that does is it brings my map a little closer, so my eyes don't have to travel as far away to see the map. So I use that the small safe area. Minimap rotation on, radar. Toggle the minimap radar backing on or off. I don't know what that does. Radar. Toggle the minimap radar backing on or off. Huh. I'm gonna favorite that and play around with that. Compass type is horizontal. Definitely do horizontal. Vehicle HUD prompts. I don't know what that does. 10 seconds, leave it alone. In-game tax chat on. Player names, full name. Crosshairs on. I definitely recommend leave them on. Center dot scale, I go with the largest. It just makes it easier to center when you're running. Centering is really important for gameplay. Just making sure that your gun is pointed to where somebody might be. I leave crosshair spread on. Crosshair opacity is set to 100. Crosshair color is white. Hit marker visuals on. Damage based hit markers on. Weapon information 100. Equipment information. I don't know what any of this stuff is. I just leave it all. All this stuff is left on. So that's everything. I hope you enjoyed.